from SunBelt who's been telling me about some very elusive early 1965 Shelby paperwork, who oddly enough, I've had 3 different people pitch to me, but they didn't own it, and it looks like he does. Let's see it.
It's not even paperwork.
Okay, it's even better.
Some sort of vinyl. This is the worst way to display this.
Well, we put it on the hood after they pull it up.
Okay, we could do that. On the internet, there is an image that is within 10 to 15 seconds of one of these images that claims to be the very first picture of the Shelby GT cars.
Okay.
I can't prove one way or the other that this one is earlier or the other one is earlier by 30 seconds, but it is in the same family of pictures that now belong to either the Shelby registry or Road and Track. We haven't done all the research, but it is significant.
Okay.
When you see it for real, in 1965, halfway through the month of March, they put out a magazine that she has right there. That was a Mustang exclusive magazine.
Okay.
And within that magazine, it was the very first ad for the GT350. These are the pictures that were taken for the very first ad. The red X's indicate some of the images that were used in the actual article, which was the first article to promote the GT350. These are the
actual negatives.
These are the actual negatives. So they were, in this particular one, they were displaying what they were doing to the cylinder heads.
Okay.
And every one of these has the negatives attached to it. So when you're building a magazine, you would do one of these sheets, for example. This is the driving sequence. I cannot prove that this is Ken Miles' car, but I cannot disprove it. It's one of the mules for sure.
Okay.
In a California mountain road somewhere.
So we're talking street cars, not R-code race cars.
Well, let's have a look at this. This image displays the first of the racing bars that go into these cars. I'm not the expert, you are.
Well, this would have to be R-code, not street cars, because they didn't do this work to the street cars. They only did that to the R-code cars. So that's pretty easy to prove that.
Okay. Oh yeah. And here it is again on the differential. So they have a lot of these pictures that are differential with that upper bar in it.
So do these have date codes on them somewhere? Or is it just on the negatives?
They come like that, boss.
Okay.
They are, I don't know how you date code them, but they gotta be early.
See, that's R-code too. See the gauges? Yeah, that's the race car.
So here's another one with the other gauges, right?
Yeah, it's a street car.
Okay. So the images we've been able to sort of find online that have any relevance to this image right here, we own the image, we own the negatives.
Okay.
And they are a different format, so they're a larger, see this square format? For some reason in magazines, they were shooting with 2 different cameras. 120?
120. Well, the negatives usually have date codes, don't they?
Yeah. You can look. I'll give you the other one. You can dig it.
No, what you've already pulled out.
It's just so crazy. We're not doing this on a nice table. We were wearing white gloves when we bought them. Not drinking beer.
I see what you're
some
doing on the
car.
stage on
right?
the hood of the truck.
Well, hopefully we don't have to sit out at the table and arm wrestle for these things.
Well, we think they need to go to somebody who understands.
Well, I sure understand and appreciate what you got.
This is the first documentation of the Shelby stuff.
Here we go. Let's look at this and see if it's got date code.
Yeah, take that one for sure. It would be on the side there, wouldn't it?
Right here.
2 old guys with bad eyes. I might need them.
There's date codes and timestamps on there.
Okay.
For sure.
Why don't we meet you on the other side of the stage so you can go across?
All right, we're going to meet on the other side of the stage. We're going to go and help Richard sell his 2 trucks.
We got some work to do.
So,
Take that, we'll meet you.
is this
Skybox.
something that I can own? To be continued.
So, when your good buddy brings you something that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, you act on it. So Gary and I just got to meet Dennis Collins. I think that's something pretty special. He is one of really our historians of the time.
True.
We have something we don't understand. We have something that we think is really significant to the history of the automobile right now, especially important to the Shelby legacy. We've made the introduction. We're looking forward to having that next meeting where he can actually explain some of it to us. I think he will know, or a gentleman by the name of Jim, I can't remember Jim's last name, but we're working on that. Jim Wick is actually going to help us figure that out a little bit. We just want to give it back to the car community, and we're going to try to figure out how we're going to do that. Right, bud?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cheers.
We're having a great time at Barrett Jackson Scottsdale 2025, baby.
You need to see that car.
It's over here.
You need to see that car.
For the Barrett Jackson Cup.
It's the only fastback Cougar in the world. So you want to talk Shelby, it's good.
It's right here. Wow.
So we've gone and bought like stages of magazines and still haven't found where the other images come from. They're on the internet, but they're not from this set. This set's been hiding for 50 years. 50 years they've been in a storage container somewhere.
And just for clarity, you had it. If you own the negatives, you legally own.
We have the writing right here that says he gives us permission, Gary Keys and JF Lanier, to do whatever we want with the negatives.
Okay.
So if you want this image or that image to turn into a poster, right?
Do whatever you want.
It's two different cars though. You start studying this, definitely because of the wheels, it's two different cars. And then whatever they were doing at the factory is just really interesting. So they got this one. This one's actually in the factory.
That one's in the magazine.
That one's fucking beautiful.
That picture is in the magazine.
It's beautiful.
That's really cool.
It's so like, I don't get to run across enough historical stuff like this. And I was like, that's how I'm going to get to you.
It's like right here.
John, which you guys have the paperwork, which is great. I'm glad y'all brought it here.
Yes.
Were there ever a stack of posters with this paperwork?
Nothing.
No posters. Okay.
We have this. Unfortunately, that's all we've got.
This.
All right.
So
And the magazine.
Can we look at it one more time?
to be ridiculously transparent, we're huge fans. My wife and I have a YouTube channel,
Okay.
and it's on a small scale compared to yours.
Okay.
We've built it up over the last 18 months, and I've been telling Sandy, you know that guy, you have his contact. One day I want to meet him. We met you a year and a half ago. You're the most gracious person to meet, but you met us as just people blogging in. This came up,
Okay.
and I said, if I'm going to get on this deal, I only want to do it to meet you. So for me to speak as if I'm intelligent about the content would mean that I have studied it and understand Shelby history. I don't feel that I do, and I think in all of our research, you understand it better than anybody. And if you don't understand it enough, the ties you have to it are much stronger than we have.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And there's some of the ones.
If we had that image, I think we have a $100,000 image, right? Because right, but we
one
don't.
Page, there's one page of these that's missing.
Okay.
And as far as we can gather, that Ford owns that one page.
Okay.
And they used it in either Motor Trend or Road and Driver.
Car driver.
Probably, yeah, it's probably car driver, road and track.
Road and Track.
So this magazine is very important. So it's road and track, clearly. Right? It's road and track, clearly.
So this right here is definitely for an R-code race car motor, because they would have never done this for a production K-code motor. That's really cool.
This weird little gauge cluster is interesting. We don't have that image, nor do we have this one. But when you start looking at them, this is an image that belongs to us. This is an image that belongs to us. This one is. So it's convoluted because as they were doing the marketing for the car, and this is apparently the first marketing for a GT350 or any Shelby Mustang. I don't
Well, that
know.
was a lot of money back then. $1? Wow. so all the negatives that are in here contain this.
Not all of them. That's the problem. Because I think Road and Track ends up skipping some. This is out in their parking lot when they're disassembling cars. Like you need to magnify that to really get a good picture of it.
Right, and you've got the image of it.
That's right. So this one clearly has a race bucket seat in it.
Yep.
And the gauges that you were speaking with.
Yeah, that's it's an R-code car.
Right?
Yep.
So the interesting ones to us, and again, our only ability is to go through the internet and sort of research an image. So I'm going to show you, or Teresa will, the very first image. Show us the very first image.
So we basically found that these pictures were the ones that we were finding just on the internet, right? And it says that it was the prototype during the advertising of this photo shoot. And these pictures all are the exact same time lapse of when they did these photos.
Let me get.
So it looks like the car that we're looking at in these pictures is serial number 3.
Okay. The claim on the internet, the first photo of a Mustang GT 350.
Okay.
If you look at the reflection on the windshield there, and you look at the reflection on the windshield here, and you compare those, somewhere in this sequence, somebody took some of these, they're an odd-sized picture and odd-sized negative. Somebody took this out and claimed that this was the very first photo of a Mustang. These have been hidden for 50 to 60 years.
Where did you guys find them?
Okay.
Can you? Well,
Yes.
I mean, can you divulge
Yes.
that?
I can't divulge the guy's name, but it's in here. So, a gentleman who inherits his dad's legacy. The father ran VW Trends magazine to 19. So this is how the story goes.
Okay.
Okay. So Michael Summers was my father.
Wow.
He was the journalist in the
They opened up his storage container and found. So we came across Von Dutch, like a crazy Von Dutch. It's a set of 160 drawings.
Okay.
We agreed to purchase that. In that, the gentleman said, "Would you be interested in some GT 350 stuff?" Well, my interest grew exponentially because I was like, "That's how I'm going to meet you." I'm not kidding.
Well, I'm honored that you guys. I
don't even have
wow.
to. I don't even have to.
I am so humbled and honored that y'all would even think that, but that's fantastic. I know what I'm looking at here.
We don't know what we're looking
Okay.
at.
So
We don't.
tell us.
We don't want to
Tell
fuck
us what
around.
we're looking at.
But just in context, if the internet says that that's the first picture, then we either have the sister picture to it, or we have all of the other pictures, and one of these sheets
Here's what I think we're looking at, and I've only had a few minutes to look at this.
Okay.
I think we're looking at serial number 3 streetcar
Yep.
and serial number 1 R-code.
Yes. So
That's pretty strong.
I feel that this is serial number R1 R code.
I do too.
And I would like to show you that picture.
And they didn't tell me that. I just
Because when it comes up on the internet, that's a very interesting one. So where it comes up on the internet, this car is definitely from the same camera in the same sequence. And if you can tell me that isn't the car, a split second later in that corner in the same space, then I don't know what to tell you.
I agree. There it is.
Right?
I agree.
And then the next one, if you go through these pictures right here, this picture, that car is a split second later. So if you're a photographer in that moment, taking pictures of that R-code car to do the promotion for Shelby, you are click, 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 click. We have found the other images that are a couple before it. We don't know who owns them. We believe. Oh, here it is again. So this one is one split second before, if you look at the nose of the car versus those two posts. But we own the negatives. We have permission to use them to make posters and build. I don't even know what
I
to do
don't
with
think
them, Dennis.
anymore with the internet that there's that much value in that. I think it's fantastic that you've proven you own it. I get it.
And she said that earlier today, and I said I think it's the opposite because AI does whatever it does.
Well, things have changed. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
This is actually something that's for real, and I don't know that 20 years from now.
no, I'm interested. I want to try to own it. But
Yeah, for sure.
from a bargaining standpoint, and it's not where I'm going with this.
We're not really bargaining. I'm okay with the conversation.
No,
She's
but
rubbing me because
what do I have to do to own this?
I don't even know. I just wanted to show it to you, become friends with you.
I want to own it it because I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into it. I'm not going to try to market
don't know how to value it.
So my friend that came up with this and bought the Von Dutch collection was very interested in the Von Dutch collection. When this came up, I said, I have to own this to meet you. Okay? So
You're here.
what his valuation on it is his valuation on it. I want half of that. I want him to have his half. I don't want anything from him. To be able to meet you and just to say.
What did he value it at? I'd like to get it back to my office and study it some more and do a
I
follow-up
give it
on
to you to do that.
But I think I know what it is.
Wow. Let's just lay it out. And Dennis, I'm not doing that to make the deal because I think we're already in a place where it's fascinating. Like these are like when you start holding them and you go, hold it for real. You're holding a piece of history. Like we're not. It's funny to look at the images, but once you hold that, you're like, wait a sec.
It's crazy. It's cool.
And we're going to sign the bottom of this document that says that if you want to do anything financially with these things, they're yours. They're your images at that point. I personally, Dennis, I think these are most fascinating to me. I road race cars, and even when they're out of frame, when you see the car upset in the corners, I find these the most. This has to be a Southern California road somewhere. I find these to be the most fascinating to me. This one became the most fascinating of all of them because it has images that somebody else has played with. This image and this image are within, like, this image is within, like, click, 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 click. This one never got used anywhere. This one is, of course, of a better background, actually, but it almost looks like a notchback, right? And again, I'm not trying to sell them to you. I'm just telling you, I've been holding these for about 6 months to meet you, and I've been falling in love with them. So there's parts of it that I know and I fall in love with, and there's parts of it that you're like, oh, it's just a fucking cylinder head, so we're gone. But that dude working on it is a cool cylinder head picture.
That's cool.
Right?
We're willing to certify like we did with us.
Yeah, I get it.
Right?
My initial number in my head was really low. So yours was high, and I came up. I like it. It's neat stuff.
Where are the ones from the shop?
I just
these ones. Like this. That's an image that that has to be a historical image for Shelby, America. I agree. It just has to be. I know. And there's one more in a parking lot. Let me just. Like I say, I've been studying these, so it just takes me a little while to find the right one. There's one in a parking lot that is just like, how does that even happen? It's the parking lot where it almost looks like garbage can cars in the background. Where is it? We're missing it here. Right here. So there's your R-code car with the seat and the, is that Ken's car? If we can prove that that's Ken's car, that you can prove, change things. But if you looked at that with a magnifying glass and saw how busted up everything is in that parking lot, it's fascinating. It's a part of history that can never be duplicated. Look at that. So this one has the quarter panel done. There's the nose of, what is the nose of that car? That looks like an AC Cobra.
Yeah, it's definitely
then another one. Like that image, I blow that up as a poster, and only your friends that really understand cars could get that.
Zach's gone.
It's that good.
I can send this part to
This is a Daytona coupe.
What?
It's a Daytona.
Peter Brock car.
Wow.
So,
Wow. I want to own it.
I know you will.
And we won't put a figure on camera.
I was just going to say, turn the camera off.
But
All right. I don't know what I just did, but it's something cool.
And Dennis?
Right on.
I'm just happy to meet you.
No,
and I hope you remember.
I'm humbled and honored that you guys are here and brought this stuff to me. But it wasn't cheap.
But it might be awesome.
Flashback. 7:59 a.m.
Santa Monica Photo Lab, and in here is some never before seen images of the very first Shelby Mustang advertisements.
That's awesome. Okay, you
Like
guys.
if you haven't got goosebumps, and if you're ready to see it in real time with us here,
Let's take and
let's get
go.
after it. And enter our buddy Gary, the guy that put it all together.
Hey.
Hey Gary.
Hey, you guys.
How are ya?
man?
Awesome.
Here we have a special edition of a magazine that came out from Car Life Magazine that they dedicated a mid-month edition only to the Mustang. And so part of that was the introduction from Ford of the Mustang itself, and then going into the Shelby. So there's clear articles about the Shelby itself and how the Shelby became about. And so this is all fresh in the day. It was the kind of stuff you'd sit down in your chair. And then they selected the ones they wanted.
So there's an X beside the ones they don't want?
I think the X would mean what they want.
Okay, so here's the
That's what I
article.
think it is.
Here's the article, Teresa. If they have this picture somewhere in there, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Well, that looks very similar.
Make more. I could have got another drink.
Just slow down. So Gary, I think this is more like these negatives here.
Oh yeah,
Attached to that.
Go with these pictures.
I know they stapled them. So yeah.
Okay, so just wait, just spread them out.
We don't have as much, but it's all good.
Okay, so being the very first article on Shelby's Mustangs, we've got some really, really interesting stuff here. We've got pictures at Shelby's factory. Here's an interesting one. Here's a guy physically wearing a spacesuit to do the special porting on the Hypo 289. Here is engines showing the fancy oil pan. The head work, I think they were really proud of what they were doing to the heads and the blocks at the time. Here is one that shows in detail the modifications that they were making to the full-blown race cars. Do you see this one? This must have been one of the race cars because it's got the race seat. Can you do this rather than, yeah. Just a bit. So I got room to move. You can see the torque arm here. You can see, look at this, right through the floor. Has anybody in the official Shelby world ever seen a torque arm go right through the floor where the back seat's supposed to be? We'd like to hear about that. It looks to me like these brakes might even be bigger than what they actually produced them with. And you can see here, there was attempts at the beginning to physically change the body shape on the Shelbys as opposed to the original body. Rear mount, whoops, here, flip this upside down. This is rear mount battery in some of them. I don't know if that ever went to production. Oh, this one's got, oh, this is a Daytona Coupe in production. Again, an image that's never been seen by anybody in the world, and you guys get to see it live with us right now. This looks to me where they were doing some driving shots. And we'll see if we can find that in the article. Sorry, we're bouncing around a little bit, but here they must have been trying to show off the special Shelby only oil pan, the bigger rear brakes, the specialty suspension. Looks like some bigger exhaust here. Oh, look at this really cool shot in the Shelby factory, making the very first GT350s. Oh yeah, look at that. They're all just lined up, waiting to get built. Now, Most of these have got negatives attached to them. I'm guessing, Gary, that if we go into these, have you got your gloves still?
Yeah, no, I didn't bring out my rubber shoe. Yeah, because
Whether there's more to this,
I
more to these
think
images.
everything you see here is
Okay, here's how this works. There we go.
these negatives.
I don't believe so.
And those aren't 35s either.
I don't believe it.
Those are 120s.
So we're just going to try to look through here and we'll see if we can find some images. So this will
Oh,
be
yeah,
the
that's
cylinder
the same
heads.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, slow down.
Those are 120s versus 35 or 4x.
Right, right.
Oh, more engine block stuff. Especially engine block. Oh yeah, and all the specialty stuff that makes these cars so special. Wow.
Could you imagine if the competitors got a hold of these photos when they were building the cars, right? Like that's why these was so, like this was top secret.
Yeah. And it was the first introduction of the Mustang. Like,
And you can see how early this GT350 is because most of these modifications didn't even make it into production in the Shelby cars.
That picture's one of the pictures right there, this one?
Yeah, of course it is.
That's
Yeah.
one of the
It could
pictures.
very well
Oh my
be.
God.
This is one, this is one, this is...
It could be one of the Ken Miles test
This
cars.
one is, for
Yeah.
sure.
It could be one of the Ken Miles original test cars.
This one is also.
Yeah.
This one is. This is the one
Now,
that shoots through the floor.
Keep in mind that Ford had big influence, I would imagine, with Car Life magazine. To say we want to.
Oh, look at these driving shots, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Have you seen these?
I just cruised through them. I didn't really study them because I just figured there could be another day when we're all going to share this
What are the
experience.
X's for, do you think?
Well,
The X's are ones they didn't want to use, maybe?
well,
No,
I'm
I think
kind of
it's the
thinking
ones
they.
that they
I think they
used.
wanted to use maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking, or at least under consideration. And
This
then
is my favorite. Look at
then
this
they went
car
down the
rolling
road.
over.
Then they ended up going to. If you look at the magazine, there's only a handful of shots, or
Yeah.
there's more than a handful. But
Yeah.
I think if we really studied it, the X's means that's what they picked, or at least initially picked.
That's what it looks like to me too.
Yeah,
Wow.
because there's more not X than X. And, you know, this is a classic shot. That's a good shot. Actually, this is cut off in the front, so is that one. That's a good shot.
There, this picture was used. This picture is the one right at the very top there.
Is it?
This picture is also
Yeah,
used.
this one here.
The battery
Yeah.
in the back.
Oh, so it
See
is
the back
the
end of
X
the Ford?
then,
Yeah, it is there.
the ones they
Look at this. Look at
used.
the ass end of the car in the front.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like.
And this is the same car that had the quarter panel cut up. They never went into production that way, so I wonder where that car is now. That's it. Wow. So these are never before seen pictures by the public.
Back. End of flashback.
So Dave and I are going to go show this air to Shelby and see what he thinks. So see.
You know Matt and Andrea?
Yeah, of course. How are you, sir? Good to see you again. So,
Is this on your...
so what I believe this is R code serial number 1, photographed archives, and the negatives, and serial number 3 prototype, and the Broadcast Daytona at the factory.
Really?
With the negatives.
That's pretty cool that you got that.
I think so. Not as cool. Hey, Kevin, how are you, sir?
Kevin.
Good to see you. Thanks for everything you do for us. We appreciate it.
I've not seen this stuff before. This is cool.
So you've never seen this?
No. You know who would love to see this if we got time is Peter Brock. You know, he was there with building this car.
His car's in here. His Daytona Coupe's in here.
Yep.
I don't remember which one.
Yeah. Marketing shots on the track, on the street. That is cool. So how did you track this thing down?
Coffee Walk viewer brought it to me, and then there we go.
you.
I don't either.
That is
It's one of the only ones I don't have and I've never seen.
That is nice.
Yeah, Kevin doesn't even have that one. That's
I have all the car lights,
Yeah.
but not this special
Yeah,
issue.
that's cool.
So that's almost impossible that I have something that Kevin doesn't have when it comes to Mustangs.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, that's really cool.
Get one more hug from him. He likes them anyways. Yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, we sure hope you guys enjoyed doing automotive archaeology with us. Like, mind blown.
Wow.
Pictures that haven't been seen in 70 and 60 years of absolutely significant automotive people and their craft. Stay tuned. Remember to share, follow, subscribe,
Like,
all that stuff. We need your help.
share, subscribe.
We love it when you guys comment. It really gives
Yeah.
us good directions. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate it.